And so the fun begins. We have a couple of pallets here. And we have 3 more pallets over here. So this is the greenhouse project, and it looks like fixing to be a lot of work. Got a lot of pieces of metal here, brackets, bolts. That's part of them. And here's some more. All inventoried, make sure I have everything that I need. Now it's time to start the process. Well, it ought to be some easy driving of some ground posts for the greenhouse if it ever stops raining. There's so much going on in the garden this time of year, and this greenhouse business is taking a little bit more of my time away from it, but it's going to get there. What I've got here is my ground stakes. These are the stakes that'll support the trusses. Here, or the rafters as it's called. Anyway, they're every 4 foot. These are drove in the ground. What it's got is 3 holes in here. This top one will be to fasten the rafter down. Whenever you put it into the ground, you'll just line this in the right direction. These bottom 2, the baseboard will go here and bolt to it, and that'll give it stability, keep it from sinking into the ground. Once I get all this up, we'll put some tie down stakes to make sure that it don't pull these up, because I'm in sand, and that's really important. But anyway, these are all set on 4 foot centers, all the way down here. We've got our rows are running the wrong direction for our greenhouse, but as we harvest this, we'll change these. We've had our tomatoes are staked in here, and we didn't do these with the overhead system like on the others, because we didn't want it to get in the way of when we decided to start putting this greenhouse up. What we'll have to do, and we've already for this other side, we've taken out plants here and a plant over in the other row, and for now, and then what we'll do is we'll put new T-posts in to support these wires that holds our bamboo stakes up, so that they'll be inside the wall, and that way these will be a little harder to work with because the way that they're set up, and we'll deal with that. We might even take out a few more so we can get past the end of this row until these kind of start to playing down once they produce good. They're growing like mad. You got to get out here and get some of these tied up before they decide to break away and give up. But anyway, we've got that 1 row set down. We'll set these stakes in here, and then we'll get ready to put our rafters and put the truss together and everything, and get those stood up. Well, out here I'm setting up one side, and when you're setting up a polytunnel, greenhouse, whichever you want to call it, high tunnel, you need some kind of transit or something. Now the property doesn't have to be completely level, but when you're setting this up, if you have a slight slope, like there is a slight slope here, you need to set your baseboard at where it's straight in line. If it's a slope, it needs to gently slope, so the top of it the edge needs to be straight from one end to the other. The reason for this is when you roll down your sides, that's where it's going to roll down to. And if you have a variation there, then your sides aren't going to close off very wind tight. And if you're growing, say, extended season, that could be a problem because you could let in too much outside air. And, you know, when the sun's trying to heat it up in the daytime, the air's coming in and cooling it down. But anyway, you want it to be in a straight line this way, of course, and you want it to be on a straight plane. If you've got a slight slope, level it out. Now I still haven't leveled the other side, and as you can see, the boards are not quite leveled up, but we're finished with this. All we have to do is come in here where our boards meet. We'll take this short piece right here and we'll screw it between the gap, so these will be in line and stay there, and this will help support the whole edge, keep it straight once you get it in here. But anyway, that's where we're at. Hopefully today we'll get this side all finished up, and then we'll get over there. We're going to have to pull back some of our drip lines because our rows extend further than our side of our high tunnel. So we'll just pull them back, pinch them off so they're not double watering on this side. And until we don't lack about maybe a month on crops here, these will come out, and then we're going to change the direction of the bed on most of it. We're going to have some tomatoes that we had in here. We're going to go ahead and leave those rows, and we shouldn't have a problem with that anyway. When you're joining your baseboards, just use a piece of the same type material, about 2 foot long. Center it over your hole, and what you're going to do is you're going to drill some holes right here. I've got 4 holes drilled on this side, and I use a bit big enough to where I'm not going to worry about my threads trying to grab on this board, because you want it to be able to draw them up tight. Now, once you do that, you'll drive your screws in, and like I say, you want it to be where they're at least 1 inch from the end of your boards. You don't want to go no closer, because what's going to happen is you're more likely to have a split or it not hold as well. Make sure that your board's in position. Now you can clamp this if need be, and then just draw it up. Once you draw all these, this will make this good and solid connection here, and help carry the load straight through on the whole side. Looks like we started getting our trusses up. We've got a couple of rafters, one with truss, and just slowly working down. We had to get creative so we could run it through our row, because they run the opposite direction, but it's coming on up. All right, we're coming along. The process here is, first we've got to cover the end. Now, we're not going to go ahead and put the door in just yet. We'll do this afterwards, after we get the other end done and the top covered. But as you can see, with this growth band high tunnel, this has this fiber type material, and it's just a matter of wrapping it and putting some Tech screws with this in the neoprene washer, keep it from sliding. And you do them about 1 foot apart. On the curves you might do a little bit closer. We framed this end. This was an option, this metal frame for the door, instead of buying 4x4s, and it makes it sturdier. We'll still have to put a vent fan on this end, but we'll do this after we get the top covered in, probably maybe even after we get the door hung, because we'll be pretty much open the rest of this season until winter time. But that's where we're going. I'll need to trim this fabric along the door. You use Tech screws, like I say, to fasten it there. You have wood screws to fasten to the base board around the edge. And then our next step is we've taken and put channel along here, and we put our double channel up. Now this double channel needs to be level to the top. And I did want to get back to the door, I guess. When we did this door, this bottom part, because we have a slope, we have to level this bottom part of the door so that it doesn't slope over, because if you do and your door comes all the way down, when it rolls up, it's going to roll up crooked. And then once you level it, of course, you set your top bar. On this particular one, they say set it at 10.2, but where we decided to set it is just a little bit lower than that. We wanted it to come out and make sure that it's level too. You can't set it at the angle with the ground, because once your door rolls up, it's not going to be all the way open at the top on both ends. But anyway, what this channel down here on the side is for, and we've got another one here, and then we put a channel along the bottom, and we'll use the lower channel up here. This is for a baffle. When your sides roll down, you're going to get some air leak over here. And what this baffle does, this will have plastic here for 4 foot, and what it'll do is keep that air, or minimize that air that transfers in behind your roll down side. So anyway, pretty much that's where we're at right now. What I'm going to do now is I'll continue to run this channel all the way up over along the top of here, and that'll be what holds the plastic on the top. But we'll put that channel down, and then this end will be pretty much ready. We'll just have to run our double channels all the way to the other end and build in that other wall, and then once we get that other wall built in, we'll be ready to cover it with fabric. Now as you're running this up the side, you want to make sure, now this is unavoidable that right here it's right close to the end, but you want to not make any connections in the curves of your high tunnel if you've got a Gothic style. Now if you've got just the regular curved top, it's going to be a gradual curve all the way. That's not going to be a problem. But on your Gothic, on your tight radiuses here and up there, you don't want to have a connection in that area. You want to have a long enough piece to go over. What you can do, the piece you cut off while you're doing the straightaway, and these short pieces can be used up on that edge. So anyway, that's something to be aware of. As you can see, we're coming along. We've got the other end fabric on it, and we've installed a 36-inch walk-through door on this end. So in the winter time, this will be great, because we can just keep this door here down and tied up, and just walk in. We won't have to worry about getting too cool inside. We've got this track run all the way down. We've got the track run up over this end, and we've made a cutout. We've got a vent that goes up there. We're going to have to put one in the other end too, but we'll do that after we get finished. But what I want to stress is, whenever you put your kit together, make sure that your posts are where they're supposed to be. Now these are on 4-foot centers, because on this particular kit, it doesn't have a plate to span across here, so your ends of your double channel have to meet up on your rafter. So make sure that you have that. But anyway, we're about ready now that we'll take and we'll pull the plastic over the top. We'll have to get the ladder down, get set up at both ends, and we're gonna put the poly on and pull it across, and then we'll probably go ahead and take and get our roll-up doors on here, and then we can get our shade cloth on, or we might temporarily put our shade cloth on top of here. I think we might tie it down good enough. But that's where we're sitting right now.